Greetings, Stars fans. This is the Two Brothers Mic'd Up show. If you didn't know, we sit down, discuss what we just saw in the previous Dallas Stars game. We'll have a game of NHL going on for you. Bring it to you right here on the internet. As each show starts, we go back to the last video, so always stick around to the end. We give predictions of what we think the score will be. Quinn, you liked a score of 3-1 for Dallas and a 6-2 for New York. I liked a score of 3-2 for Dallas and a 5-2 for New York. Stars lose 3-2. Should have been 3-3 with an asterisk going into overtime with that terrible goal that wasn't a goal, but it really was a goal. We'll talk about that in just a second. But going into this game, how did you feel? You know, it's a Saturday game, matinee, 3 o'clock. It's an early game, you know, a game that the players should be ready for. How did you feel about going into this game?
Same way I feel every day whenever the Stars play. I feel nervous now. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's like Forrest Gump, a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I actually had some decent hopes for this game because I just thought that they'd be able to bounce back from that Jets loss. Like, you know, they played well in the second period, and I would have hoped that, you know, they would have learned something, you know, to always keep their foot on the gas, to really bring as much energy they have. You know, it's an early game, Saturday, a full crowd, apparently. You know, that's what the reports are saying. It was a sellout. And you're in front of your fans. But, again, it is a Saturday game, and I think the Dallas Stars are the worst team to play on Saturdays. So there was always that little thing in the back of your mind, how is this going to really turn out? And for the first period, there was actually a good pace, you know, a good amount of action. I mean, everyone was getting their chances, but it just seemed like, especially the New York Rangers, they got pass happy. You know, the Stars will get pass happy as well, but man, the New York Rangers were just looking for slam dunks instead of, you know, taking chances and everything like that. And I think that's why the Stars weren't down early in this game, is because they got, you know, pass happy. They didn't want to shoot as much as you thought they were going to. Let's go into the goals. We have Kreider on the power play. Sevier. That's a nice change up. You got McDonough, Nichushkin. That's his second in, 3 games now? So I guess he's picking it up, if you want to call it that. And then Klein in the third period. The third period had the most action. Second period starts with a lot of bad defensive plays, especially on the part of Goligoski. Within the first minute of the drop of the second period, we get 2 turnovers from Goligoski. Now, please, anybody that watches this, listens to it, please give me some kind of thing that you want this player to stick around. Because I've said it before, and it's even more apparent from that game yesterday, he has phoned it in. He's stopped caring about playing with this team. Just his overall play, his overall defense, I think it's starting to seep into the rest of the defensemen. He has bad body language out on the ice. He's very careless with the puck now. Not that he was always great with the puck, but, I mean, last year he actually looked good, you know, but now you're on an even better team, a team that exceeds all expectations from coming into this season from last season, and he just seems like he doesn't care. He's a free agent this summer. Do you think he gets moved at the trade deadline?
I mean, right now, it really seems that Dallas is just not going to do anything with trades, which I think is a big mistake. You know, one simple trade could shake up something on the team and bring like a renewal to it. It doesn't have to be a big blockbuster trade. It could just be a fourth line grinder for a fourth line grinder, you know. Some people bring stuff to the table, some people don't. So that's why I think unless they do a straight up trade for Goligoski for ham use, like I don't see him being moved. But it's like you said, like it just doesn't seem like the same Goligoski. I mean, granted, I've hated Goligoski ever since the James Neal trade. I have never liked him. He has never looked like a good defenseman to me. I mean, you can comment all you want. You're not going to change my mind. This is just one player I hate. And don't get me wrong, he's a good defenseman when he wants to be, when he has the offensive time to do it. But in today's hockey, you know, you don't get all that defensive time, and he just doesn't look like he cares anymore.
Yeah. So I'm going to go down and name off the top 4 defensemen that we have coming up for free agency next season. We have Goligoski, Demers, Oleksiak, and Jordy Ben. Out of those 4, who do you keep and who do you let go or who do you trade?
I'd definitely keep Demers. I mean, granted, he's had a rough.
I mean, as of right now, he's playing himself off the roster, especially with that penalty that he took.
I mean, he's having a slump right now, but I think, honestly, in like the first half of this season and what he was a part of last season, he's already looked better than Goligoski, in my opinion. Like, he plays defensively smarter. He jumps into the offense when it's needed. He doesn't try to force the offense. And I would keep Oleksiak.
So, do you think Jordy Ben gets moved?
I don't think he gets moved. I think he just goes to free market during the off season.
That I don't see that happening. I think Jamie is going to do everything he can to keep his brother on the ice. I think Jordy can be a good third pair defenseman if you stick him with someone that's gonna play. I would like to see Goligoski gone. I'd like to see him gone, but traded at the trade deadline. I want to see a return for Goligoski. I don't want to just let him walk because, like you, I have not liked the majority of the time that he has been here. It's kind of like the last 4 years of Trevor Daley. I did not like the last 4 years of Trevor Daley, and Goligoski, it just keeps wearing on you and wearing on you and wearing on you. I would like to see Oleksiak stay, but I mean and then that Steven Johns guy, he's a free agent, unrestricted, so he could go someplace else, but the way Neil has talked about him, I think he's going to get re-upped. So Oleksiak's days might be numbered because of especially that third period that we got out of him yesterday. He was on the ice for 2 of those goals, one of them being his fault.
Which one do you consider his fault?
Whenever he couldn't get the clear.
So you put the entire
No, it's
on Oleksiak. That's what you're saying right now. But the fact of the matter is I've seen so many threads and so many Reddit posts of people blaming Oleksiak for that. If you go back and watch the 3 minutes that were played prior to that,
oh no, it was all
2
bad
minutes
team
and 30
defense.
seconds of it is the entire Dallas Stars team failing to clear the puck.
Oh no,
not just defense, forwards, goalie can't cover it. This team is failing.
Yeah.
You cannot keep putting it all on one player.
No. I'm not putting it on Alexiak. I said that because of his bad clear, it got turned over and immediately got scored. I didn't say anything about it not being bad team defense because, they score that goal from Nichushkin and then a minute later they are overwhelmed by the attack of New York. But he was on the ice for 2 of those goals. The bad Kari Lehtinen goal that he gave up, he was on the ice. His defensive coverage wasn't that great on that goal, and then defensive coverage was not great on the 3rd goal. I'm not saying that it's completely on him. All I'm saying is that it seems like his time on the ice has turned into more that they're finding more negatives than they are with Nemeth's game, even though I feel as if I would much rather keep Alexiak than Nemeth.
In my opinion, Alexiak was the best defender in yesterday's game. Hands down. Better than Jordy Ben, better than Goligoski, better than Klingberg. He was the best defenseman out there. He hit. I mean, yeah, he was out. He was a -2 because he was out there for 2 goals. But I mean, both of those goals can't be faulted on him.
But he is included on the fault.
I know, but I mean, you can't solely blame one player because a bad thing happened.
I'm not solely blaming him. I'm just saying he is in fault with it.
Yeah, and I'm just pointing that out because that's what seems to be the trend right now. Is people are blaming stuff on the one player, but you're not looking at the whole facts. It's the whole team that is failing at defense right now.
Oh, yeah, no, that's 100%. When you can't get a simple clear and they're not putting 110 effort into a clear, it's going to turn over and blow up in your face. The Stars, ever since last season, have always had problems whenever they come under pressure, in their zone. They have the worst kinds of clears ever. It's unreal the amount of times that this team gets held up in their zone because they're either trying to skate out without the possession of the puck, or once they get it, they just throw it up and just hope Jesus takes the wheel and it gets out. That's always been the biggest problem with how this team is conducting themselves whenever they're trying to clear out of their zone. But overall, the Stars did, when you look at the stats, they did outplay New York in every category. More shots, more hits, less giveaways, more takeaways, more face-offs won. How does this game get lost?
It just seems like, like we said in the past couple of videos, they get scored on, they just lose everything. They forget how to play hockey completely. And then, some magic happens. The puck comes to the right player, Seaver buries it, and then they're back in it. They have renewed vitality for some reason that they just couldn't find when they were down. And then they get scored on again. And then, they lose it all. And then Nichushkin gets a break with the stick tip from, I think it was Yandel, maybe, that went past Lundqvist. And all of a sudden, hey, it's a change of events because they still didn't get the momentum that they needed.
Yeah, the big standout to me is the negatives, or the minus numbers that the first line is putting up. That's one of the bigger things that is standing out because it seems like in crunch time, the Stars are, whenever they have their top line out, that top line is becoming a negative. It's not playing good defense. And with how the trade deadline is going and how all this activity is going on with players being moved and everything like that, I just hope that this team this management, this coaching staff, I hope they are not still just living off the first 3 months. The first 3 months before Christmas, I seriously hope that this team is not just going to try to ride out that good start that they had. Because if they are, you can say they might not win a game in the first round. Because they're going to finish up and maybe in the top 3. They might even slide to 4 if they keep playing the way that they are. Because Chicago just won, so we're back down into second place. But thank God St. Louis is playing pretty bad too, or we would be getting outpaced by them as well. So the Stars will have to watch out, because you know what? They're going to play a team that has been playing playoff hockey from trade deadline to here on out. The Stars will play a team that has been playing playoff hockey for the last month of the season. Stars might not win a game in the first round. So you just have to be careful with that. Let's talk about the goal that wasn't a goal. Reactions, go.
I mean, you can either go either way. I mean, yeah, you can see like a smidgen of the puck, but I mean, when you really look at the overall picture, you don't have 100% conclusive evidence that it's over the line. You may have 95% because of that stoppage that they put on the screen, but that's still not 100%. You know, you can't go off 95% in this league when it's determining outcomes of the game. I'm pissed that it wasn't a goal because I knew it was a goal. You as a fan, you 100% know the puck crossed the line underneath his pants, but just from the camera angle that it's caught on, you know, Toronto makes the best decisions that they can.
Yeah, the only thing about it is that the league stuck to the black and white of what the rule book is too much. When common sense says that is a goal. Common sense says that is a goal. You can clearly tell the way the puck goes in under his pants, it's clearly over the red line, but you can't see it, but everybody knows it is. I understand that there are rules, because if there are no rules, it's just mass anarchy, but you have to interpret every occasion like it's the first time you're seeing it, kind of. You know, it's that decision right there affected the outcome of the game. I did not like that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. But just because you can't see it, but the way the puck is traveling under his pants, and then like the way it starts coming back out, there's no way that it wasn't over the line. What did you think of Kari's game?
You know, I honestly think he played pretty solid through like the first 40 minutes, you know. I mean, granted, when he got the goal tipped off him into the net, I mean, you can fault him for that, for not being purposely in position, but at the same time you can't, because you know he banked it off the back of him. I mean, exactly how do you stop the bank other than being in the right position at the right time? So I mean, I feel like he really only gave up one bad goal at the end. I mean, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. That last goal, I mean, I know he's screened, but damn, I would have liked to have had that one back. And then that first goal, going back to Goligoski and the overall defense of this team when it comes to penalty killing. I'm going to pause because I think everybody knows what I might be saying or what they are going to say along with me. It's why do you let these players just stand in front of your goalie? Goligoski's, if he's not trying to play the second goalie, he can fall back, pick up Kreider's stick, and there's no tip. That puck keeps going right, and hits Kari's leg pad. It doesn't get redirected and change and go 5-hole through Kari. Does this team not realize that we have a goalie? We don't need our defense playing goaltenders. That only hurts our team. And we saw with that no goal, whenever the Rangers player stuck his hand out to try to grab the puck, to try to play a goalie, to try to block it, and it gets deflected off his hand, and it goes down between Lundqvist's pads. I mean, if that player doesn't reach out to grab that puck, it doesn't go anywhere near the legs of Lundqvist.
And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, they're just there to shot block. There's a big difference between shot blocking and trying to kick a puck that is shot at your goalie with your skate. Now, you see a lot of players like Eakin, Ben, I think they do the right thing, and even Goligoski, they're good at shot blocking. But I mean, you have to do it at the right time when there's absolutely no chance for that puck to get by you or deflected by you. Shot blocking is an art, no matter how you put it. But when you stand directly in line with your goalie and another guy behind you, and all you try to do is kick the puck with your skate, you fucked up.
Yeah. Do you want to know? Take a guess on who was the best shot blocker yesterday.
Jordy Ben?
Mm-mm.
Eakin?
Nope. It was Alexiak. Because he's out there playing the way that he's supposed to be playing. He's playing a defense role. He's in there standing with the other guys. He's coming out just a little bit to try to get in lanes. The thing about Goligoski only had one block shot. Sevier had 2. Klingberg had 3. But the thing about it is, if you're going to block the shot, make sure you block it. Don't take yourself out of the play to try to block something that you didn't block. Make sure you just tie up your man in front to where you occupy him and let your goalie do his job. Because I think more times than anything, you're going to not get all of the shots, and it's only going to make your goalie's job harder. Because there's someone standing all alone in front of him to get 1 or 2 swipes at the goal. Gotta fix that shit, Rich. So, let's tighten that up. I don't see them doing it because they just constantly keep leaving these players in front of the net, but there's only so much bitching that we can do.
I'm not an NHL coach.
Yeah.
I only have minimal playing experience.
And that's the thing, is that we take what we're seeing and the knowledge that we have of the game to say this is what we think and how it should have been handled. And everybody will have their opinion to it, but I think this team needs to go back to basics. Dump and chase, a 3-2 format.
Hell, contain the puck.
Yeah, contain the puck. Simple overloads. Going back to the box. Maybe then you have a defenseman slide over whenever that extra man is in front of your goalie. I don't think hockey is not a hard game. It's only hard whenever you overthink and make it hard on yourself. This game can be super fancy, But damn if not the boring style wins games. Take your man, cover your man, let your goalie play his job. Let's go into the ratings. So, actually, again, let's touch on big splash or no big splash with the trade deadline.
Like I said in this video and the last couple of videos, I mean, we don't need a big, huge, blockbuster 12-player trade to get one defenseman, like a Seabrook type defenseman. We don't need that, We need just something small. Ham Hughes would be a perfect trade for us. Why? Because he's a defensive defenseman. I mean, he's been in the game for a while. He's like 33. He knows how to play defense, which is the thing. He knows how to play defense. That's what his game is.
Hughes has come out to say that he likes Dallas as an attractive place to go.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do a straight up trade, go Legoski for Ham Hughes. That way, both teams get. They still have a veteran defenseman on their team. They're both free agents in the summer. I mean, what harm could it do? What harm could it do? You lose an alternate captain that I feel, in my opinion, shouldn't be a captain at all, just because he's been on the team for a while. I think somebody with better leadership experience, like Spezza, should be the alternate captain. But, I mean, again, just my opinion. Or hell, a fourth-line grinder for a fourth-line grinder. Somebody that's just going to go out, hit, fight, do whatever he pleases to the other team.
Yeah, speaking of the fourth line, we have Moen, Fiddler, Eves. All of them are free agents come this summer. Do you see them being possibly moved?
I see Eves coming back.
And Cole Sevier is a free agent too.
I could, if the Stars don't decide to trade him, I could see them re-signing him too, just because he is a big. I mean, he's only 26. He's a big asset on the PK. He's a good defending forward, which, I mean, will slot him well with the bottom six.
And you know what? I'm going to throw this out here just because I want to. Jack Campbell, he's a free agent. Let his ass go.
Yeah, I honestly think that Campbell needs to be given up on for this team. Like, when was he drafted? Like 2010 or something?
Too long ago to where we haven't seen anything come out of him.
The big top-toted prospect goalie of that draft year, and he's stuck in Idaho.
Well, he just got. I think he just got called back up to Cedar Hill.
We'll see. That's another thing, though.
But he's also injury prone, and
he comes to the Stars on a recall assignment. He sucks. He goes on the AHL. He's mediocre. He goes to Idaho. He's the best goalie in the league. Like, I think that should say something about his caliber. He's just not an NHL goalie.
Yeah, he might be, but for somebody else. And you know what? The big name out there, Nichushkin. Does he stay or does he go?
I mean, I wouldn't be sad to see him go, honestly. I mean, it would suck. Because because of the talent he could turn into.
He had a good game. He had like almost 3 breakaways. He had like 2.5, but then doesn't cash in on them. But then cashes in on the one time he decides to take a snapshot. I mean, that's the thing about it. You say, oh, why doesn't he do that all the time? Because he chooses not to. He chooses not to do the things that he could potentially become a 30-goal scorer.
Is the Nichushkin we've been wanting to see like the entire couple of seasons. Why doesn't he play like this in every single game? He could be an easy 20-goal scorer if he played with the intensity that he had in this game that he does everything else.
He could be a person that changes the outcome of a game, but chooses not to. Let's go into the ratings of this game. What did you rate it?
I mean, I honestly, I think I'll rate it a D plus. I was gonna say a D minus, but like they played a good 35 minutes. But I mean, just their defense is just so atrocious right now. It's just this team will not go anywhere until that is addressed. You can only score so many goals, but whenever your goalie and your defense just keep letting them come right on in, you're always going to get outscored.
Yeah. I gave it a C minus because they played good. They had their chances. They kept it very even up until like the last 8-10 minutes. They just stopped playing. Didn't play hard enough, but they did play hard. Goaltending was pretty good. Overall defense was bad. And then Demers takes another first penalty, which is now 36 games of the season that they've taken the first penalty, and we see what happens. They lose momentum whenever they take the first penalty. So, C minus. Deal with it. Stars play the Detroit Red Wings. Game 64. What kind of predictions do you have for that one?
Well, Detroit games and Dallas games are always fun to watch. You got a lot of skill on both teams. But, I mean, just I hope the defense comes to play, is basically what I say. I hope to see Alexiak back in there, you know.
I don't think he's back in.
I mean, it's like we've said before, they're not going to get any better if they don't play. So, I would like to see him in, and maybe Yoki Paka come in, because maybe Ben and Namath are just better suited to be paired together. If Dallas comes on top, I'll say a score of 3-2, since that seems to be the trend, a low scoring for them. And if Detroit comes on top, I think it's going to be, we'll say 4-1.
I'm going to say 4-1 for Dallas. And I'm going to say 4-3 for the Red Wings. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Stars have a bounce-back game. And keep it close. Even if they lose, it'll stay a close game. So, that's the discussion. Be sure to subscribe, share if you would like, hit that like button, leave any kind of feedback down below. Remember, this is a show for fans, by fans, and, as always, tune in next time.